Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Bellingham, and we're so grateful you're here. I wanted to take this moment to do a land acknowledgement, which we don't do every single Sunday, because my experience is that if you hear it over and over, you don't hear it anymore. But on this particular week, where we are celebrating gratitude in many forms, I wanted to just share my gratitude for this land. So you may or may not know that our center stands on the ancestral lands of the Coast Salish people. And their ancestors have resided in this area for time immemorial. And we are fortunate enough to have incredibly wonderful, thriving, alive neighbors in the Lummi Nation, in the Nooksack Nation, in the Samish people, and beyond here, a whole group of different nations that support us in becoming more and more aware of the power of the land and the beauty of it. So I'm very grateful, and I hope you are too. Right now, I'd like to turn this over to our wonderful band, and we'll have some songs. If you just arrived, you're getting gravel. Just accept it. I'll tell you about it later.
Well, good morning, everyone. If you're here in person, you can stand up with us. Let's go ahead and sing out into this day. I'm not worried about tomorrow. Today, I declare freedom from yesterday, mistakes of the past. Today, all things are made brand new, and don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should. All is well, all is well, all is well. Even Spirit is directing me right now. All is well, all is well, all is well, and unfolding as it should. I can change my reality by changing my mind. Perfect peace, joy, and happiness is yours, and it's mine. I am the love, and so are you. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should. All is well, all is well, all is well. Even Spirit is directing me right now. All is well, all is well, all is well, and unfolding as it sing. All is well, all is well, and unfolding. All is well. Even Spirit is directing me right now. All is well, all is well, all is well, and unfolding as it should. All is well and unfolding as it should. Well, good morning. Take a minute to greet some of those beautiful faces out there. right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome here.
Well, good morning, everyone. So I'm very excited about this particular part of our service because from the COVID years until now, we have not been able to do a tradition that we had started thanks to Jenna and Eric and their kids, and it's called a Nature Advent. And if you're not familiar with the idea of Advent, it traditionally is the 4 weeks leading up to Christmas. But we do things a little different here. And the Waldorf folks came up with a beautiful Nature Advent. And so for the next 4 weeks, we'll be inviting the children to come up and add to this altar in the front. And so could I invite any of the children who are here to come up and stand in front of the altar, and I'll tell you what to do. Thank you for coming up. And you'll see that there are some seashells, and there's some wood, and there's some stones. Let me read the first verses from the Advent. The first week of Advent is the week of the stones, a force that lives in seashells, in crystals, and in bones. So would you be willing to choose either a stone or a seashell and place it on the altar? Thank you. And then just hang out here for a minute and we'll sing you out to your wonderful. Go ahead. Feel free. Come on up and you can just all grab stuff. All these shells, for the most part, came from my scuba diving adventures. So probably illegal to do that now, but way back when it wasn't. Oops. Great. And then Heidi is going to light our first Advent candle. And then would our wonderful teacher Joe come up, and our two lovely Georgia and Lily folks are with their families for Thanksgiving. So Wendy and Joe are your teachers today. And why don't we sing Hooray for the World? And if you want to just turn around and welcome to you who are new.
Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, it's a special place. We got Mother Nature and the human race. The world's got trees and bumblebees, rivers and lakes and the open seas, mountains and valleys and animals too, and a sun that shines on me and you. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, it's a special place. We got Mother Nature and the human race. We got Mother Nature and the human race. Have a great class, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
Hello, hello, welcome again to this wonderful place, Center for Spiritual Living, Bellingham. A reminder to silence your phones. And I'm Heidi, practitioner of the day, and happy to offer you this opening prayer. I am so grateful for that awareness of that divine essence operating in me, available to all of us at every moment. That great truth that we are divine, that this life is a brilliant life full of learning opportunities and a chance to go deeper within and raise our consciousness to align with that great one. We are connected to the one, and there is no division. And for this great truth, I am grateful. And so it is.
Well, we're going to move into some musical meditation together. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. Let's sing that again. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. My heart is open. My heart is open. I am awake. There is a knowing of love, love, love. My heart is open. I am awake. There is a knowing of love, love, love. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. My heart is open. My heart is open. I am awake. There is a knowing of love. centered from the center of me. Hear me, call of a raven, see me, magnolia unfolding, move me, gentle waters pour me overflowing. Tell me, quaking of aspen, show me, tender rose, love me, heart of wonder, breathe me understanding. Now is all there is. I am one with all of it. Sing that with us. Oh yes, now is all there is. I am one with all of it. Let's sing that again. Now is all there is. Oh yes, now is all there is. I am one with all of it. Hold me, echoing canyon, soothe me, song of a dove, fill me, moon over ocean, guide me the way back home. Now is all there is. I am one with all of it. Oh yes, now is all there is. I am one with all of it. Now is all there is. I am one with all of it.
Thank you. Yeah. You may hear Maggie once in a while over there. I love having Maggie here. For a long time, Maggie would listen to the music. She's really into the music, and that maybe you are too, and then fall asleep. But she's getting older now, and so we'll see. Welcome again. We have been exploring together the field of awakening, which is the theme for the month. And that topic is based on the Rumi, very famous Rumi poem that begins, "Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there's a field I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, words like you and me don't make any sense. And so the field of awakening is part of a larger theme for the year called Grounded in Spirit. And today, of course, being a week where in America, many of us have gratitude celebrations, I thought we would talk about gratitude a little bit, and the topic is Awake to the Gift. And how many of you know our local poet, he lives on Whidbey, David White? Yeah? David White. Well, look him up. He's really an incredible poet. And one of his dear friends is a monk named Brother David Stendhal Rast. And Brother David was originally from Austria and left there during World War II. So Brother David's quite old. And he's famous for his discourses on gratitude and being alive. And so I brought you a quote from him. And he's the kind of monk, I don't know if you're familiar with all the different kinds of monks, but there are certain monks that they live in cloister, meaning that they don't go out much at all. And they live a large part of every day in silence alone. And so that's Brother David. So out of his incredible practice, this is what he says. Everything is a gift. The degree to which we are awake to this truth is a measure of our gratefulness. And gratefulness is a measure of our aliveness. And, you know, when I read that the first time, I'm like, oh, that's too many words. They won't get it. They won't like it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I like it. And what I like about it is this, that just as the song you just heard said, really, really, sacred humans have a real hard time realizing that time is an illusion and that now is all it is. And for most of us, we spend our lives in the past or in the future, and when we're in the present, we're not really there. Where we are is in our habits. And so one of my teachers, Thich Nhat Hanh, used to call this living from habit energy. And, you know, neuroscientists have said that 95% of our life is lived from the subconscious patterning that we've created over the years, aka habit energy. And so most of our life is like on automatic pilot. And the 5% that is dedicated to being awake in the world often doesn't have much say. And so one of the interesting things about the field of awakening is that the people who find themselves there, and I suspect you have, you know, it's in moments, it's not like we go live there usually, but in moments we find ourselves in this place beyond the habits, beyond the duality of right and wrong, in this place of just now, just here, just fully present. And when that's Maggie, it's cool. When we find ourselves there, that 5% is like fully loaded, ready to show us the living texture of all it is. And it's right there. Right there. You know, when Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within, he wasn't talking about someplace else. Right here, within the awareness of our own being. So I was thinking a lot about our gratitude celebrations, many of us this last Thursday, and I was thinking about what gratitude actually means from the Latin. And it comes from the root word gratis, gratia, and that word meant grace. And so gratitude and grace have the same root. And I really believe that actually they're connected. That when we find ourselves in a place of awakened present moment, there is a sense of presence that we talk about in the science mind a lot. There's a sense of presence fully orbed in everything that is. One of my friends said, well, does that mean you're like a pantheist, that where you believe God is in everything? And I'm like, uh-huh. Yeah, that I don't know that we would officially call ourselves pantheistic, but we are. And we see that when we're in those moments of grace. There's a living something, whatever you want to call it. And so I wanted to invite you into the field just briefly, and in two ways. So you have a handful of gravel. So get that out if you put it in your pocket. And does anybody not have gravel? The ushers will bring you gravel. I know, weird, huh? And live stream people, just pretend. Pretend you have 5 pieces of gravel. Did they all get 5? Okay, so you're going to use 4 for this first part. Oh, and Heidi needs gravel too. Oh, and someone up here, keep your hand up. One more. Oh, they miscounted. She has extra. Heidi needs some, Heather. And the musicians need. Oh, you got some. Great. I mean, you got to have gravel, right? Okay, and some over here. Oh, good. And I want to thank Andrea for mining her building site. So that we could have this. Okay. Anybody else need? You have to have 5. Some back here. Great. And yes, great. We've almost got it. So why 5? Well, because I was taught this meditation, and it was with 5 people, 5 pebbles, 5 gravel pieces, whatever you use, 5 shells, 5 sticks, it doesn't matter. So we're going to use 4 to start with. And the whole point of this, just remember, the whole point of this is to be completely present just for a moment together. So put 4 of the gravel pieces in your left hand. Put the 5th one just somewhere on your leg or somewhere where you can access it later. So you put 4 there. And this was taught to the children who attended Plum Village and the other monasteries of Thich Nhat Hanh. And I must be very childlike because it works for me a lot. They were teaching the children meditation. But children are very, very alive. And so, they wanted to make it something that would work for them. So imagine your childlike nature that hasn't become habituated yet. And you have these 4 pieces here of the earth. And I want you to think of 4 different things that when you really think about it, you're incredibly grateful for. It can be anything. If you have 4 children, put them in 1 piece of gravel and then go on to something else. But, 4 different things, and try to remember each of the 4 things you've chosen. So go ahead and think for a minute. And then what I'd like you to do is have your other hand ready, and you're going to just breathe with me for a minute. Aware of your breath. It maybe didn't make it into the gravel, but grateful for breathing. And then pick up the first piece of the earth and hold it in your hand for a minute and just think about that gratitude piece, whatever you chose. And then put it down somewhere on your leg. Take the second one. Hold it in your hand. bring yourself to the awareness of that thing that you're grateful for, whatever it is. Just really bring that into your heart and mind. And breathe. And then put that on your leg too. Take the third piece of the earth that represents another thing you're grateful for and hold that in your hand. Really bringing to mind what it was that you chose. Breathing with that gratitude. Really bring it into your mind. Don't let the busy mind take you away. Just here, just now. Put that on your leg. And the last piece of the earth, hold it, and that which you're grateful for, and breathe with that. And then you can place that on your leg. It probably wasn't hard for you to think of 4 things, was it? And probably if I'd said 10, you could have done 10. The thing of it is that, we go through our day and we don't ground into the moment. We're not there. We're not present. As soon as we become present and we're asked to think of what we love, what we're grateful for, what we're experiencing in this here and now moment, just here, it's so easy to feel energy in a room, or to be grateful for illumination or heat, to feel the warmth of a community surrounding us, to be grateful for the friends, nature, water, whatever it was you chose. It's so present when we are, because it didn't go anywhere. We did. And so to be in the field of awakening is a practice of being present over and over and over. And I wish I could say I lived in that field. I don't live in that field. I live in lists and appointments and phone calls and grocery shopping. And I live in the world that we all live in. And a lot of the time I can remember to be present. And a lot of the time I can't. But the goal of the spiritual path, any wisdom tradition, is to place us squarely and solidly in the moment, fully awake, fully aware. And when we come to that place, we're in heaven. We really are. You can feel it. And then it goes with the next phone call or text or, right? So you have one more piece of earth. And I want to talk to you a little bit before we do that one. So there's this thing called telos. And telos is a Greek word that roughly translated. Did you ever see My Big Fat Greek Wedding? So all words go back to Greek in that movie, right? Okay, so telos is Greek, so we're back to Greek. And it kind of loosely translated means the meaning of all of it, sort of, And it has to do with the long view of all of history and all that is. And so I've kept you in the present moment, but now I'm not going to. I'm going to invite you into telos. And the functional use of an idea like long meaning is to invite us into considering our place in the family of things through time, through all time, not just our historical lifespan, but through all time. And so if we look back, we can look back into our ancestry, into, like the land acknowledgement said, into the land as it was, and the people that were there. And some of those people were our people. And we can go back and back and back to all that we know of that. But it also invites us to go beyond our historical endpoint as a embodied spirit in this body into the future, acknowledging that everything that ever has been and is will impact what will be. And so as we draw ourselves in a much longer timeline than just a historical lifetime, the impact that we have is beyond what we actually think about most of the time. It actually is quite significant, but it's small, right? But it's small like those pebbles, those pieces of earth you have, that when they're put together with lots and lots of others, create a pathway for the unfolding of the world. So that's what we're going to look at, only short, because I only have 5 more minutes. So if you've ever been to one of our spiritual mind practitioners, a lot of times what they'll ask you is what I've trained them to ask you, which is called the miracle question. So I'm going to ask you the miracle question, and it comes out of a wonderful iteration of when insurance companies all of a sudden said they didn't want to pay for therapy, and so they limited the number of sessions to 3. When before, Freud and Jung and all those people, they could see people for years. Well, insurance didn't want to do that anymore. So they said you can have 3 sessions or 5 sessions. And so the therapists got real creative. And they came up with this question, the miracle question, as a way of let's get right to the point. So we're getting right to the point for you. You don't have to tell anybody what your answer is to this question. Or if you're going out for brunch, it's a great conversation piece. So close your eyes for a minute. If you're comfortable, you don't have to. And I want you to think about yourself right now, sitting here. And I want you to imagine that tonight, when you go to sleep, when you wake up in the morning tomorrow, your life is exactly as you've always wanted it to be. So I want you to imagine that you're waking up and your life is exactly as you've always wanted it to be. So here's the miracle question. How do you know? What's different? What's different? And now you can open your eyes. And the thing about telos, this long view, is it becomes really, really important if we are to create out of an awakened, alive gratefulness. It becomes important because we cannot have what we cannot believe and see in our future. It won't happen. So maybe you've wondered, okay, we've done peace demonstrations forever. I was a woman in black standing for peace for years, and it's not looking good. But Telos would say, well, the only way for peace to actually land in the world is if we can see it, if we can actually visualize it, if we can actually imagine it. And the same for your life. Maybe there's something you've always wanted your life to feel like or look like. But if you can't see it, if you can't imagine yourself in it as if it was now, it won't happen. It just doesn't work that way. There's a spiritual law that says you have to know what you want so that it can unfold. So the miracle question goes straight to the point. What do you want your life to look like? Really? Like, if you didn't think about all the restrictions that we habitually say, well, I don't have enough money, well, I don't have the education, well, I don't have the talent, well, I don't have the time, well, fill in your own. I don't know if you remember this quote. Are you for your limitations? And sure enough, they're yours. But the same law that makes that so, accept what you would really like, and it will be so. Might not be exactly like tomorrow. That's why it's called the miracle question. But you have to know. So the pebble, the gravel, the piece of earth, hold it in your hand. What is it that you really want moving forward from here? Close your eyes and really feel that. Not in in a million years it might happen way, but actually see yourself there with that, whatever it is. Breathe. Add it to your collection of gravel pieces. Scoop them all up into your hand. Gratitude equals aliveness equals creation. It's like that. The earth is like that. You may have noticed. The rain falls, the seeds that have been planted become alive. Those are your seeds. All you have to do is water them with your own awareness, being present. And it's a beautiful thing. We believe that there's an existence of possible realities, all possible realities, because time is really an illusion. And everything that could possibly exist exists in the mind of the beloved. So whatever it was that you saw for yourself is already existent, and now you're simply going, okay, good. So say that with me. Say the word good. Good, like you mean it. Like, this is mine. Good. Great. You got it. So let me do a prayer for that, and we'll move into the next part. Good. A vast intelligence, a wisdom beyond all knowing, is moving in each of us and in all that is. It takes the shape of our understanding, our beliefs, our ideas. And so if we keep the same ideas, it takes the same shape over and over and looks permanent because of that. But in a moment's heartbeat of time, everything can change. It is not bound by what has come before, and it becomes anything and everything as we focus our aliveness and bring ourselves into the present moment. This wisdom is operating in you, it's operating in me, it always has, it always will. It is beyond time and space, and therefore unlimited. It doesn't know a limit in any of us. And so I accept for you, as I accept for myself, a profound unfolding of this alive presence in its creative process. I accept wisdom moving in you and in me, unfolding our lives in new ways of greater aliveness, grace, gratitude. And I am grateful, because I know that for some of you here today, just that focus point will change everything. How wonderful is that? It's great. And so it is. Thank you. All right, the ushers are preparing for the offertory. We are grateful for the gifts that you give to the center. Many of you are regular givers, and so sometimes you won't see a whole lot of checks and things go into those baskets. That's because people send us money in the mail and by PayPal all the time, and we're so grateful. So thank you.
Everything in this world goes around, flowing with abundance, it knows no bounds. Giving and receiving, we circulate the love with gratitude and knowing it's always enough. We give thanks We give thanks. We give thanks with this offering. We give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks for everything. Everything in this world goes around, flowing with abundance, it knows no bounds. Giving and receiving, we circulate the love with gratitude and knowing there's always enough. We give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks with this offering. We give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks for everything. We give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks with this offering. We give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks for everything. For everything. We give thanks for everything.
Hey, Dave Vaughns, he's been showing up for us. I just want to give a shout out
Thank
to
you,
my friend Dave Vaughns.
Yay.
I like to leave him hanging once in a while, you know.
Yeah. And I don't know if you know Robin, the drummer that's typically here. She broke her knee, and that's why she's not
But
here.
she
So
will be
Dave
back in
has really been a
December,
pinch
yes.
hitter for us. It's great. And yeah, thank you, Dave. So I'm reaching for this mic because I've invited one of my wonderful new friends to come and talk to you about why he gives to the center. And for those of you who are just joining us, you're in the middle of a 4-week process called the Giving Intention Program. And it's an opportunity to have people come and talk about why they give. I talk about money, and then for the rest of the year, I don't. I love it. 4 weeks I can do. Every week, not so much. So, Michael, would you come on up? This is Michael Tatlock.
Hello. How's everybody? Happy Thanksgiving. Everybody have a good Thanksgiving? Lots of food? Well fed? Well, I'm going to talk about being fed. But first of all, I want to say thanks because I'm very grateful because my husband and I moved up to Bellingham from LA in June. Well, we came up in May, but we decided to move full time in June. And so we've been here, and we're loving it, and we love this community because you've been wonderful in just accepting us as we are and welcoming us to this wonderful group that you have. And so I'm going to give you a concept that I was taught very early on as I was learning about science of mind. And that is from a woman called Edwene Gaines. And Edwene, if you don't know her, is this wonderful, I think she's Unity, right?
Yeah, in Southern.
She's Unity, which is another new thought portion of this great thing that we're experiencing now. And the one thing that Edwene talks about is giving to where you're being spiritually fed. So you all had a wonderful meal, I'm sure. We had a wonderful meal. We had friends, we had family. We played games, we ate and ate and ate, which is why I'm draped now. 'Tis the season to be draped, because you have to camouflage it all, okay? So the idea behind that is central to prosperity. Because the one thing that Edwene talks about is being prosperous. And there's so many different ways that we can be prosperous. But one of the main things that she talks about is giving to where you are being spiritually fed. And so I give to my community because I'm being spiritually fed. And there's a lot of different ways that you can give. You can give your time by volunteering, by being an usher, by being on the board of directors, by being whatever. You want to give your time. You can give your talent. Right there. That's your living example of the talent that's being given every week here so you can be spiritually fed. And you can give your treasure. And your treasure can be anything you want it to be, but generally the material part of it is giving to the community that is spiritually feeding you. And that's why I give. And I continue to give. I give my time, I give my talent. Well, not so much my talent yet, but
Well, you
it's
keep
coming.
saying, I'll be here unless I'm on Broadway.
Yeah. I am an actor, so I go down to, LA to perform or go back to New York, which I'm going to be doing earlier next year. And so that's where I give. And that's all we're asking you to do, is where are you being spiritually fed? And give to that. And give whatever you have. It can be $1. Guess what? That's $1 more than this community had the moment before you decided to give it. You can give however much. You can give as much, and it returns to you. It's the law of circulation, which is another one of those spiritual laws that you can learn about if you take a class. I'm sorry, I endlessly plug, don't I? That's the LA in me. It's always a plug. It's always a marketing kind of thing. I apologize. Maybe someday I will get rid of that, but not right now. Anyway, so that's the simple pitch to you all. Just give. Give your time, give your talent, give your treasure. And it will be returned to you in countless numbers of ways as you see every Sunday. So thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, there you go. It's wonderful to have an actor be part of our practitioner crew. So let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing. The Giving Intention program is letting everybody know what our plan is for 2023 and the money that we would need as a community to go forward with that. So what we've been asking for is committed pledges that would total $205,000. Sounds like a lot, but actually for nonprofits, it's a small amount, believe it or not. And so far, I'm really delighted to tell you that we've raised more than half of that. We have, yeah, it's incredible. We're looking at hoping that some of you who haven't gotten around to filling out the Giving Intention form and letting us know what you would like to pledge. If we're looking for another $75,000 or so to be pledged. Now, what does that mean? So what we ask is that you really, if you're part of our community, if you would think about, are you being spiritually fed here, and can you offer financial support in some way? Because we don't get money. The CSL doesn't have the Vatican. We just don't. This is it. And so we support what's going on here, all of us, including me, giving. So we asked you to think about the year and what in your budget you might be able to manage. We know that everybody's at a different level, and that especially right now with inflation being what it is, you may not have as much to give as you have had in the past, or maybe you're doing really, really well and you can. So we ask you to think about a monthly amount that you might be able to really consistently give through the year. And what we do with your commitment is we base our budget on that. Now, obviously, we've already figured out a budget, but come the second week of December, when all the pledges have come in, because we'd love you to make a commitment in the next 2 weeks, when those pledges have come in, just like at your house, we look at what we have and we go, well, we can't do this, or we can do that. We could do this and that, or we could, well, I'm going to have to wait on this one, and I'm sure you do the same thing. What are we wanting to do besides the management of our plant, so to speak, our campus? We are looking at extending the office, which if you came and parked in the parking lot out there, you walked past the office building on your left as you're walking. And that office space includes space for Reverend Zena, Dr. Andrea, and Clara, the counting team, the nursery, and a host of other meetings. And it's too small. Just our board meetings alone, we're sort of like, can you move over a little? No, I can't. Okay. It's small. And so we're wanting to add a whole nother section to our office that would open up space for Reverend Zena to have an office, for meetings to happen in a more wonderful way, for our children's program to have another space, because you may only see a few children right now, but in my mind, in my miracle question, there's like 30 kids here every single Sunday. And there's all different ages of people, including our teens and our young adults. So that's what I'm holding. So that's what the money would be for. In part is we are in the process already of applying for a conditional use permit. It's ridiculous how much these things cost. You may know that. And so we'd like to do it in this coming year. We have a lot of different things planned, but it kind of depends on what we receive. When you go to our website and you find the giving intention form, or we may have a few at our Ask Me desk, what you'll see is there's a general fund, and if you only have a small amount that you're able to manage to give, we would invite you to put it in the general fund, because that pays for the lights and for the band and for me and Reverend Zena and things like that. But if you have extra and you would like to support different things that are happening, because of the expansion of the office, there's a fund called the Renovation Fund. So you could put a little money there if you'd like. And the third category is for all of the different things that we give out back into our community. And we've chosen two different streams of giving in our commitment to our core values. The first is supporting people who are experiencing homelessness in changing that experience. And so we literally have about 7 different programs that we are all involved in, making care cookies that are high protein and high fat for people that may be their only meal of the day. We make food, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. We do all kinds of things like providing laundry services for people that couldn't afford to do laundry. I mean, it's expensive. Things like that. And then the other stream is we are really dedicated to earth stewardship. And so we do a lot of giving of our time in terms of really helping create ways and pathways for people to be more awakened to what we can do to help the earth. So we really appreciate any giving you can give, the one time or the yearly. And we have 2 weeks left in this program, and then we'll be visiting the budget. So if you haven't done it and you'd like to, the form is online, and you can activate your phones right here and and fill that little form out if you'd like. So that's that. Thank you ahead of time for anything you can give. Now, I said I would tell you a little bit about more about the things we're doing. We have recently invited people into helping another nonprofit that's called Bridges to Services. They are an incredible outfit that was created by a woman who experienced homelessness herself. And I don't know if you know this, but a lot of people who are experiencing homelessness are in camps, like base camp that the mission provides, or different camps where they've sort of come together to support one another in living rough. But there's another group of people, a large group of people, that are out by themselves. They're in their cars, they're in the woods, they're out. And these folks are usually doing that for good reasons. So this organization reaches to those people and seeks to provide them with hot meals because they don't have them. And so a group of us are coming together, that's what this list is, on December 15th. This is the list. And I'm inviting any of you who would like to come and cook with me on December 15th to bring one or more of these items, and we will cook a hot meal, package it up, and get it to the people who literally backpack these in to these places. And what do? They sit down with the people and have a meal. And earn their trust so that they can connect them to services that they might really need and might help them out of the dilemma they're in, which is why they're in their cars and in the woods. So I think it's a really valuable thing, and there's a group of us that are cooking, and I thought you might like to do a meal with me. So for the next 3 months, I'm going to invite anyone who would like to come and cook to come bring one or more of these things if you can. If you're not a cook, not to worry, I have things you can bring. Because we're now in the season, it's going to start snowing apparently tomorrow. So these folks need tarps and they need hand warmers. And so if you don't cook and you want to go buy a set of hand warmers or a blue tarp, you can bring it on the 15th and we will take it to the drop spot and make sure that it gets to people who are going to be needing it. If you are feeling a call in your heart to do it sooner, just talk to me after the service and I will give you the name. It's also on the sheet for the sign up. It's called Bridges to Services. They have a website. You can sign up to cook anytime. And you can also find out how to get them supplies. So that's happening on the 15th. Unfortunately, because they need the food hot, it's going to let some of you out of this particular process because we have to start at 3 o'clock to prepare the food so that it's hot and then gets to them. So it's quite a process. So if you're around at 3 o'clock on the 15th, come, and even if we don't need much help cooking, we'd love to see you. Okay, let's see. We have a couple of other things. Tomorrow, Monday night, from 7 to 8 o'clock, there is a Zoom opportunity for you if you would like to participate in a conversation. It's called Conversations in Consciousness. It's led by one of our practitioners and our rogue rabbi, Kalish Leviel, and she is going to bring you a short clip from a really wonderful spiritual teacher named Muji. And then there's going to be a discussion about what Muji was offering as a teaching. So if you'd like to join in, contact Kalish. You can find all this information on our website. She'll send you the Zoom link, and you'll have a wonderful time for an hour talking about conversations in consciousness. So that's happening. And then lastly, I wanted to introduce you to some dear, dear friends of mine who are here visiting. We were at a retirement gala for Dr. Ken. You may remember Dr. Ken Gordon. He came and gave a talk a while back. He and his wife, Dr. Deborah, are retiring from the Kelowna BC Center after 30 years. So many of us, even though the Canadians didn't remember about American Thanksgiving, we went anyway. And so these friends of mine were there, and we're coming through Bellingham. I said, well, stay the night, for goodness sakes. And coming back, it was good that they stayed the night, because I don't know if you got the memo, but it was snowing over those passes and blowing. It was really scary. So I'd like you to meet the Reverend Dr. Candace Beckett and her incredible husband, David Smith. There they are. Come on, stand up. Come on. Thank you. What's special about these two is we were all part of running youth seminars for teenagers for years and years. And in fact, Dr. Candace is still in the leadership of that hearty soul that she is. I bailed on her a few years ago, and she kept going. But the Reverend Dr. Candace was also the spiritual leader for our entire organization for a time. So she's a pretty special person. And so is David. So if you have a chance to say hi to them, they're on their way down to Seattle. But shake their hand, give them a hug, because they are very special people to me, and I'm glad they stayed. So that's it. Why don't we stand and we'll sing our way out of here.
I am blessed. I am blessed every day of my life. I am blessed, 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 blessed. When I wake up in the morning or I lay my head to rest, I am blessed. I am blessed. I am free. I am free. I am free. Every day of my life, I am free, 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 free. When I wake up in the morning blessed, 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 blessed. When I wake up in the morning or I lay my head to rest, I am blessed, I am blessed, I am blessed, I am blessed, I am blessed. One more time. I am blessed, I am blessed.
You all have a wonderful week. We'll see you again soon.